from the spiritual perspective, Srila Guru Maharaj, he liked to quote the song of Vasu Ghosh that has the verse in it. It says, Jari Gaur no hoita, Tabiki hoita, Kemari Daritam Dehe, Radhar Mahima, Prema Rasasima Jagata Janata Ke. In this song, he's saying, if Mahaprabhu had not descended in this world, who is Mahaprabhu, Swarupa Viritam, Swarup Damodar says, Radha Bhavaduti Subalita, Krishna enveloped by the heart of Srimati Radharani, radiating her halo, Shyamasundar Krishna has become Gauranga Sundar. So he said, if he had not descended in this world, we would have never known Radhar Mahima, means the greatness of Srimati Radharani, and Prema Rasa Sima, the limits of prem or love. So, few things that we have to note. Love means prem, means Krishna prem. They're synonymous. There's not one love here and Krishna prem is another love. Love means Krishna prem, except no substitute. When Srila Prabhupada put it this way in one of his purports in Bhagavad Gita, he said, when our natural propensity for love, meaning this Krishna prem, when it's perverted, it's expressed as lust towards matter, which is similar to a statement in Chaitanya Charitamritam as Kamandatama Prem Nirmala Bhaskar. Kam, which is the word for lust, Andatama means the dense, dark ignorance. Prem Nirmala Bhaskar is like pure sunshine. Or Guru Maharaj said once, dense light, dense darkness, dense light. Right? So, when Guru Maharaj would express the mood of that song of Vasu Ghosh, he would say that he's saying he can't imagine how anyone could live without this. Right? These same sentiments are voiced by Srimati Radharani, who is Mahabhav Swarupini Radha Thakurani. She is the ultimate personification of love, Krishna Prem to the highest degree, the highest embodiment, the highest expression. So, in the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamritam, which is getting at the heart of the matter about the appearance of Mahaprabhu, about the appearance of Mahaprabhu, there are some mystic slokas, one of which there's being a comparison, it says, Krishna Prem, Jambunara Hema, that it's making a comparison of Krishna Prem, and it says, and the rivers of gold that are rumored to be on the heavenly planets. Right? You read about this in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where it says, Jambu, deep. It says where there were elephant-sized mangoes, and when those elephant-sized mangoes drop onto the shore, they burst open and they create rivers of gold. So what it means by invoking this verse is saying, no such thing exists in this world, right? So she's making a comparison, saying, Krishna Prem's like those rumored rivers of gold in heaven. It's not a thing of this world. So what we're searching for, right, what everyone is searching for, you say love, actual love, affection, which when that general concept is refined and expressed purely, it's Prem or Krishna Prem. It's not a thing of this world. So in these slokas, Srimati Radharani, she says that this is Mahaprabhu, he's echoing her sentiments. Na prema gandasti darapi meharo krandami sobhagya param prakashitam. Saying, I don't have a scent of the fragrance of Krishna Prem, what to speak of a drop. And what's the proof positive? Is that I go on living in this world. So, Srimati Radharani, she's giving this as a reason to indicate that she does not have Krishna Prem. Because she says, otherwise, being separated from that, one would die. If once coming in connection with that, separation is intolerable, one will die in separation, and I'm living, so that must mean I don't have Krishna Prem. But Guru Maharaj, in his parsing of this song of Basu Ghosh, says that Basu Ghosh is saying, so how could anyone live before knowing about this divine gift that Gauranga brought down in this world? Right? The sort of divine love that's in the heart of Srimati Radharani, he's brought that down into this world and is bringing everyone in connection with that through his Nam Sankirtan and distributing that. Namo Mahavaranaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namo. The conception of the greatest avatar, the most magnanimous, merciful incarnation of the Lord would be, in the words of Srila Guru Maharaj, where the very highest thing is being given to the very lowest. Not that something of value is being distributed to some unfortunate people, but the highest thing, of which there is nothing higher, that's being extended to the lowest position. This has something to do with the Aprakrita Lila, where the infinite is mixing with the finite as one of them. So Krishna, in his loving exchange with Srimati Radharani, he observes that the love in her heart, what she's experiencing, in his estimation, is 10 million times greater than what he experiences. And he wants to embrace that position and experience that. And he does as Gauranga avatar, Sri Chaitanya avatar. Then, experiencing that there's nothing higher than this, he wants to extend that to others. So Basu Ghosh is saying, if Gauranga had not come, we would have never known this. And having some concept, some idea of that, coming in connection with that, we cannot imagine how anyone could live without it. then Guru Maharaj makes the observation that he says, but I see that you're living for some time without connection with Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, without connection with Krishna consciousness. Normally, I can't understand how that's possible, knowing how wonderful, how divine. This is what your heart, beyond what your heart has hankered for, forever. So, but I see that you're living for some time without having connection. So then I can only think that in anticipation of coming in connection with this divine substance, you were living for some time. That could be possible. Anticipating that you'll get this, then you were living in hopes for that. But otherwise, impossible to think. So those who really know what is love and affection, divine, they're expressing these sort of sentiments. So from their perspective, really, how can one go on living in this world? What is the purpose or the value of it? And this Kamandatama Prem Nirmala Bhaskar, Guru Maharaj compared to North Pole and South Pole. Meaning, on a superficial glance observation, we notice that they look similar, North Pole, South Pole. But he's invoking this, try to whisper, he's invoking this metaphor to tell us, but they're worlds apart. Like night and day, North Pole, South Pole. So appear to be similar, but are worlds apart. So the love, the so-called love of this world, it appears to be similar to divine love, but they're worlds apart. Atmendriya priti ichadari bolekam, Krishnendriya priti ichadari premanam. Again, it's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamritam. Atma Indriya, that trying to have everything egocentric when our goal is the satisfaction of our own senses, seeing an egocentric world, that everything is meant for our pleasure, satisfaction, that we're taking ourselves to be the center of all existence. That's called kam. Krishnendriya priti chidari premnam. But reconfiguring oneself, redirecting oneself towards the absolute center. Right? Rishikesha Rishikena Sevanam, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchite. Dedicating ourselves and our acquired energy in the service, the senses of Krishna, saying this goes by the name of Prem. So, Bhagavatam in the beginning says, Tasyeva hetu prayate kovido nalabhyate brahmatam uparyada. Direct yourself towards that, acquiring that which you can't achieve in wandering the length and breadth of this universe. What does that mean? That in all species of life, there's sensual activities, ahara nidraya bhayamaitunam cha. Eating, sleeping, sex, defense is not something exclusive to human civilization. So the Bhagavatam slok here, one of the 10 verses given by Narada to Veda Vyas, he's saying, use your energy now for something that's exclusive to human society. If all these other possibilities are there in other species, don't waste your time on that. Prabhupada used to be blunt about it, quoting Rishabdev from the 5th canto, Nayam deho deha bhajam niloke, kastan kamam arhate vidbhujamye. The naked truth, blunt and brutal. Rishabdev says, why try for the same pleasures that are available to the stool-eating pigs? Right? Same. As a human being, is this how you should direct your energy? Once we were in Vrindavan, and Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture, and he was talking about this verse. Tapo dibyam putraka yena sattvam shudye jasmad brahmasokyam tvanantam. Rishabdev telling his sons, my dear boys, don't waste your time on the same sort of pleasures that are available to the animals, stool-eating pigs. Do tapasya means to voluntarily inconvenience yourself for the sake of spiritual realization. You have to suffer one way or another, so this sort of voluntary suffering will help you make progress in the spiritual path. Anyway, Brahma Sokyam Tvanantam, instead of this temporary pleasure, Janmaityunadi Grihamedi Sukham Hituchtam, same thing from Prahlad, saying Brahma Sokyam Tvanantam, try for Brahma Sok, spiritual pleasure, which is Anantam, it's unlimited. Don't sell yourself short. Anyway, explaining this sloka, he was talking about the so-called stool-eating pigs. And Prabhupada said, he said, not only, I mean, he was shocked as he traveled around the world, flying on airplanes, visiting different countries. He said, not only are they trying for the same pleasures as the stool-eating pigs, he said, but they're also eating them. He said, I have seen on the airplane. And he said, what it is called? Pig's intestine? And one devotee way in the back from England, smart, he goes, sausage! And probably goes, just see, immediate answer. Like Prabhupada couldn't for the life of him think of what this was. But he went, sausage, just see, immediate answer. Like, you know what I'm talking about. As gross as this is, you know what I'm talking about from first-hand experience. He said, so not only they're trying for the same pleasures, but ... So, the labhyate yad brahmatam uparyada, try to get that thing that's only available in human society. That's the point. What is it that's exclusive to human beings? Atato Brahma Jigyasa, spiritual inquiry beyond the base necessities of existence, internal culture. Right? Love beyond body connection. Srila Gurudev liked to tell that story while we're on the subject of pigs. About when Indra, the king of heaven, was once cursed to become a pig, and he entered into a pig body on the earth planet, and he had a pig wife and little piglets, and they're living happily in their pigsty. And then in heaven, they're watching this and they're like, it's so humiliating, embarrassing to see the king of heaven in such a degraded position. But anything is possible. Brahma Bhuvanal Loka Punar Avritanurjana. Mamu Pecha. No. What's that line? Anyway, from Brahma, huh? What is it? Brahma Bhuvanal Loka Punar Avritanurjana. Mamu Pecha. Punar Janma Navidyate. So, saying from Brahma Loka to Patala Loka, it's more or less the same. Right? Just gradation from gross to subtle. All are places of suffering. So they're saying, enter the King of Heaven, living as a pig and happily. He's got a nice little, setup there. And so then they think, and then everyone in heaven, they're going, oh, how can we tolerate this? So Brahma comes and he's saying, Indra! And Indra, they're like trying to protect who is this man? They're thinking maybe he's come like a butcher to take one of the piglets, and Brahma's saying, Indra! Why this man is, talking to me like this, and saying, come back. And he's thinking, took me a long time to achieve this achievement. The wife, the piglets, the sty. We've worked for this. This is our motherland. Then Brahma sees, he's so attached because of this body. So one by one, he starts taking the pigs and throwing them in the pond. And they're drowning. And then they think, what a cruel man. But they're doing it as they drown, then they appear in heaven. And then they're watching, and they see Indra still down there. One by one, Brahma's drowning the pigs. They're giving up their pig body and entering the heavenly planets and divine, semi-divine forms. Devata, Devi, Devata. Deva, Devata. Deva, Devi, Devata. Then throws his wife. And then he's crying, pig tears. Why, this man is so cruel. Killing my wife, my children, everything I've worked for. Then at last, he comes to his senses and then gives up the pig body and he re-enters heaven and he's there as Indra. But they have a replay they're watching. And they're looking, and Indra's seeing his degraded position. He's so shamed. And Brahma's saying, would you like to go back? No. So it seems cruel. It seems harsh. But what we're searching for is not in this world. Maybe it's Chandidas or Kali, one has a poem. Well, it's like looking for what mundane happiness is like a drop of water in the desert. So it doesn't mean we're not going to have ordinary dealings, but to think that is the ordinary so-called affectionate, loving dealings with family, friends, etc. Vidyapati. There you go, Vidyapati. But that's not twanantam, brahmasokyam twanantam. It's not permanent happiness. It's temporary, low grade. It's something less than worthy of the soul's aspirations. Pratyanga lage khande pratyanga more. The soul's crying out, hankering for loving reciprocation. And this verse, Guru Maharaj quotes, expressed by Srimati Radharani, she's saying Krishna has the capacity to reciprocate every atom of the soul's hankering. And that necessarily must be the position of the Absolute. We want ideal love, unconditional love, total fulfillment. And we're directing that toward that which is not ideal, what is not absolute, what is not total, what is partial. So it will necessarily end in frustration, disappointment, disillusion, and dissolution. So the Absolute, this is what is inconceivably wonderful. The Absolute has the capacity to fully reciprocate love of the highest degree with everyone simultaneously. Sometimes Srila Guru Maharaj would remind us that it's not in the spiritual world that there's some shortage or like a quota. Like sometimes people are trying to immigrate to a particular country and they say, oh, the quota is filled. We can't take any more right now. That's not the position of the Absolute. Right? So Krishna is capable of reciprocating everyone's hankering and aspiration. Therefore, he's Akila Rasamrita Murti. That's what it means to be that. He can reciprocate. He's an ocean of rasa. So the Parakiya rasa of Vrindavan and of Prakriti Leela, the Swakiya rasa with the queens of Dwaraka, what we find in Ayodhya, of Ramachandra, the Vaikuntha of Lakshmi and Narayan, on all levels. Really, this is Krishna extending and expanding himself to accommodate everyone. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. That's what he says in Gita. As you offer yourself in love and affection to Krishna, he reciprocates that. That's why we hear Guru Maharaj talking so much about divine slavery, and everyone gets nervous. Divine slavery, hear the word slavery. I mean, we're so hardwired by humanism, it makes us tremble at the thought. We think, oh, that was in the Middle Ages when that's the most degraded position. But Guru Maharaj is making another point. He's saying, if as a slave, like a slave, you offer yourself to Krishna, the finite, like a slave, offers itself to Krishna, what is the response? The infinite becomes the slave of the finite. But we don't believe it. The infinite becomes the slave of the finite. That is Krishna Bhakti. Sri Krishna Karshini Chasa. Rupa Goswami defining what are the characteristics of pure devotion, saying the infinite becomes the slave of the finite. So whenever Krishna is being glorified in the best way, there's always the devotee, and devotion is holding the superior position. It's like we're celebrating the Rath Yatra. What is that? The devotion of Radharani and the Braja Basis captured Krishna. He's their slave. They're his slaves, happy dancing slaves in Vrindavan. But Krishna is their slave. He can't resist what's in their hearts. It's drawing him to them like a magnet. Krishna's Madan Mohan. Madan, we're all slaves of Madan, and that's for Cupid. Lust. Madan Mohan, we're bewildered by lust. Lust personified is bewildered by the beauty of Krishna. Madan Mohan. But Radharani's name, Madan Mohan Mohini. She bewilders Krishna with her love, charm, sweetness, self-dedication, self-sacrificing tendency. So Srila Guru Maharaj would repeatedly remind us that at the basis of real love is self-sacrifice. If there's no sacrifice, no self-sacrifice, there's no love. Right? Just hearing Guru Maharaj talk about when we were getting ready to make the book, Golden Volcano of Divine Love. Originally he said, he would say like this, Golden Volcano, divine lava. Is lava love? And so he asked us to find, he said, see if the word lava and love, if there's any etymological connection. So at the time, this is pre-Google, pre-internet, I went to a university library where they had the Oxford English Dictionary. So where there's like a volume for each letter. And so there's a book on like L, and you like take the book and you get out a magnifying glass and look like that. So I'm looking at the word love. I think going down, up one, down another, up and down. From this, from this, from that, from this. So, but then astonishingly, I see it says, from the Sanskrit, lobha, which means really lust, desire, that type of lusty hankering, lob. So it was not lava, excuse me. That was, I looked up love and it came from there. Lava comes as another thing. Like the word for cleaning, cleansing, like lavatory and different things like that. Lavender. But love, the English word love, lob, from lobha, Sanskrit. So Srila Guru Maharaj would say, without self-giving, without self-sacrifice, there's no love involved. So Atma Nivedanam. We speak of Shravan, Kirtan, Vishnu, Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Here, and like on the Mat temple, there are 9 domes. Each one has a parallel here. The central dome is Atma Nivedanam, self-offering, offering oneself, self-sacrifice. Right? Same thing in Mayapur, Antardweep, Atma Nivedanam. When the Upadeshamritam concludes with the glories of Radha Kunda and advises one to bathe in the waters of Radha Kunda. Srila Guru Maharaj quoted Srila Saraswati Thakur saying, that is not water in the conventional sense of the word, but rather it is the waters of self-sacrifice, of self-giving. So if Srimati Radharani is Mahabhav Swarupini, right, she's Atmanivedanam, personified, to the extreme, personified. And sometimes Srila Guru Maharaj would say, Radha Kund is Radharani in liquid form. He said, so what you're being advised here is to bathe in the waters of self-sacrifice, of self-giving. So, although ostensibly we're wandering in the world, voyeuristically envisioning ourselves as exploiters, consumers, thinking we'll find fulfillment in consumption, right? Through acquisition, control, and consuming what occupies a lower position. Apareyamitastvanyam Prakriti Bidime Param Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho Yayetam Dharyate Jagat Bhumirapo Analobayu Kamanabhutirevacha Ahankara Ityame Bina Prakriti Rastadha. These things are lower than Jiva. But Jiva thinks she will find satisfaction by acquiring, controlling, and consuming things lower than her. That is illusion, delusion. But rather, the inverse is true. By offering oneself in service to that which is higher, we'll find fulfillment. Right? Through dedication, not through exploitation or renunciation, but through dedication. So the path from Shraddha, Sarusanga, Bhajan, Bhajanakriya, Anartha, Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Tata Shakti, Tato Bhava, Tata Prema Byundanchati. So from the world of exploitation through Agyata Sukriti to Sukriti, the Shraddha, faith, appears within the heart, leads one to the association of devotees who have some love and affection. Right? Like the seed of love and affection, like Guru Maharaj wrote of Gurudev, Krishna Prema Bija Pradhan, giving the seeds of love of Krishna. Then Bhajana Kriya, coming under the guidance of the Vaishnava, gradually anartha, unwanted things and misconception is vanishing, and one gets the faith becomes deep-rooted in spiritual soil, and start developing some taste, ruchi, asakti, attachment in the right way, for the right things. Vidya bhi, sevita shadbhi, nityam advesha ragivi, hridayena bhinu gato, yo dharma sthani bodhita. The heart can recognize its actual desired object. Then bhav, at that point, the bhakti lata bij has the creeper of devotion has reached the blossoming stage, bhav ankur, like a blossom. Then the flowering, where just like a flower starts yielding a fragrance, the bhakti lata flowering at this point has a unique fragrance that is charming to Krishna. Then further development, prem, real love. In this world, but the relationships in the spiritual world are permanent. So in this world, coming together, going apart, that's the nature of this plane. But in the spiritual world, proximity is achieved, being near, connected through spiritual consciousness. Spiritual world is made out of consciousness, out of dedicating consciousness. So someone who evolves the consciousness of dedication and devotion, then they're forever connected with those who are similarly evolved. But in this world, Guru Maharaj says, even the great devotees of the spiritual world, sometimes they descend here, and it's like hide and seek. They discover one another. But so those devotees whom we come in connection with in this world, we can look forward to their association in the spiritual world. Saying, to the degree that they are spiritual. To the degree that something is mundane, it's temporary. To the degree that something is spiritual, it has permanence. Remember, even in Bhagavad Gita, wasn't it? Na tvevaham jatunasham natvam neme janadhipa. Na chaiva bhavishami sarve vayamata. Where Krishna tells Arjuna, or Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna. As many verses we've had, I remember all of them, but you don't. Janmani tavacharjuna. Arjuna, you don't remember, because he's saying, how you and I are contemporaries, and you're saying you spoke this to the sun god, but he's older than you. Krishna saying, oh, you don't know everything. Spiritual association takes place through adherence, obedience, being in the same plane of consciousness. When Rupa Goswami, Sanatan, they're being sent by Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan. So it means, in terms of physical proximity, they're not going to be with him. But Mahaprabhu is saying, in following my order, you will be with me. And we're discussing Rath Yatra. One of the things Krishna tells the gopis is actually, he says, by the mercy of Narayan, I'm able to be with you. And what he means, we should not think that, oh, he sends an expansion from Dwaraka. No, Dwaraka is the expansion. Vrindavanam paritaja. Sannaiva nadigashtati. Krishna never steps outside of Vrindavan. So actually, Krishna is always with his devotees, but they feel separation at different times. Even in his presence, sometimes feel separation. Ramananda reveals to Mahaprabhu, Prema Vaicitra,